Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Musings and Music Show. It's been a while. It's been a busy time, so it's been a while, but I'm right back here now, ready to do some more interviews, and I cannot be more pleased than to have the lady with that I have with me here, the young lady I have with me here, to start this new phase of shows. I'm MBIWAN MONJIMBO, coming to you on Vosaworld Radio and also on the Vosa YouTube channel. I'm going to ask the lady I just talked to you about to go ahead and introduce herself to us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. One, I want to just say I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your
My
platform.
pleasure.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Terese Apasi Chando, but I go by Posse or more recently as Posse the superhero. Yes. So very nice to be here.
Awesome. It's just now that it has struck me why I was going to ask you about the whole Posse thing. And then now that you said your full name, I'm like, oh, light bulb. I now kind of know why. But you're here, that's you as a person, but that's not particularly why you're here on this show today specifically. It's going to be about music, about art. So you're so young already. I'm like, when did you start? My question for you is, when did you start this whole music art thing? When?
Yes, of course. So I started very young. My mom loves the piano. She loves classical music. So she enrolled me in piano at around maybe 5 years old.
Wow.
So I was playing piano. I also did violin in elementary school, middle school. So just very heavily involved in classical
Classical.
music. My teachers knew I could sing, so they would encourage me to sing. In middle school, I joined chorus. So my involvement with music was more so in school for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So during that experience, I realized I was really enjoying it. It's something I felt like I could just kind of lose my sense of time in and be fully
Oh.
immersed. Yeah. So in high school, I started taking classical voice lessons with a
Mm-hmm.
teacher close to me, wonderful, wonderful woman. She inspired me so much and gave me the opportunity to record with her, and that introduced me to studio recording. And from there, I realized that I want to record music, I want to create music, and my
Wow.
interest for that kind of took off from there, yes.
Right. So that's been on you. That's been you from almost day one, almost from the crib, from the cradle.
Yeah.
That's been you. Okay, so how did you get the name? Okay, now I kind of figured it out already, how you got the name Posse. Maybe the superhero part is what I'd like to know a little bit more about. But explain the whole thing, because not everybody may have realized where like, it may not have clicked for everybody. Go ahead and explain, please.
Yes, so of course, posse comes from Apasi, my middle name, or Eposi, that's the Cameroonian way to pronounce it. Posse
Right.
the superhero came more recently, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
So while I was very heavily involved with music throughout my life, I feel like most people would have identified me with a lot of other things before music. Like I was a competitive swimmer, I
Oh,
was a heavy
wow.
athlete for my entire life, and I went to school for public health, and I'm more involved in behavioral health. So even though I do music, my interest was in other things. But more recently, I don't know if it was like not a midlife crisis, but I was just having some deep reflection that we only have one life, right? So while sometimes you may be good at a lot of things, that doesn't mean that that thing is the purpose why God has you here on this earth. So I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna take charge of what's going on here. And that sentiment where people say, oh, nobody's gonna come to save you. At first, when I heard it, it can be kind of it can be kind of upsetting to hear at first because it encourages you to take responsibility for
Mm-hmm,
your life and take
mm-hmm,
responsibility for what you're going to do about the circumstances going on. But
mm-hmm,
I've chosen to find empowerment in that sentiment and just
mm-hmm.
decide that I'm the superhero of my life. I'm here to make sure I'm having a good time on this earth and creating and sharing my art. And I just want to encourage other people to do the same. Like, be your own superhero because you can be. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Pardon me. I know we're not supposed to ask women or girls their age. You can give me a round figure somewhere thereabouts. How old are you?
Um, I'm close to 25. I'll say that. I turned 25 this year. I'll say that. Yeah.
I wanted people to hear that because you are sounding like this Mbamba. I'm not
Oh wow.
the wisdom of what you're saying. That revelation has come to you so early. I'm quite sitting here amused because the people my age, I'm like triple your age. There are people my age who haven't gotten it up till now, still just roaming the earth back and forth, doing absolutely nothing that you can actually center in on. Like, what are you about? Yes, you like to do this one, do this, you have many little gifts, but then what is the thing that you're on this planet to do? You figured it out at 25. Wow, fantastic. Fantastic.
I'll say though, I'm very grateful, but I feel like that lesson comes from being tired of living life in a way that you don't want to live. Like when people say that, I'm like, thank you, but at the same time, like it took a lot of very deep lessons and discomfort for me to come to the understanding that I cannot proceed in my life
You,
without
you, you're,
purpose.
you're not going to allow me to take away the credit from you because I am saying the people my age who've had the experience after experience, not learned a thing from it.
Well,
They
thank
go right back the same rat hole. That's what I'm saying. So no, don't downplay it. I tell you, it is something. And the sooner you can find it, you find a purpose in life, like David did in the Bible and other younger superheroes, the better for you. Because you just, we call it ton
you.
up and down the place there doing nothing. And so the sooner you find that out and go for it, the better. Okay, but see, you are blessed to have a mother who you say actually introduced you to the piano. She liked classical music and everything. I don't know about either the rest of your family or your surrounding, where you were. Did everybody just say, hey, great, that's it, go for it? Because I know that if we have an African background, that's generally not the case. They would, you see how you said you were doing behavioral studies and other things, they'd say that's where you should go. This whole music art thing, we're not feeling it. That's generally the case. And I'm saying we're not feeling it. That's being nice. That's putting it in a very nice and mild way. As in the whole thing, I'll disown you if I
Yeah.
see you, if I catch you near that violin or that piano again. So just tell us what your experience has been. How did people receive this choice of yours?
Yeah, so I have a very, very big family. So, of
Mm-hmm.
course, throughout this journey, I've just experienced very different reactions to
Okay.
me pursuing art and music.
Mm-hmm.
My parents, they know me, they know like my personality. So,
Mm-hmm.
my mom was more accepting. I feel like my dad is a little bit older, so maybe at first he was like, "Oh, how are you gonna make money?" That sort of thing. But they understood that it's a matter of happiness and purpose, and so that's how they got on board. For the rest of the community, I feel like at first they were very open to me performing and entertaining. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as like how far we can go in careers like that as Africans, like they don't really see it as a real career. They see it more as a
A
hobby.
hobby.
You can do that on the side and then you have your full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved to Maryland 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and at first I was fully pursuing music, and I just remember the reactions a lot of the time were like, "Oh, that industry is weird. It's not stable. How are you gonna make money?" That type of thing. But I feel like if you believe in what you're doing, you have to be very resilient in
And persistent.
yes, in believing in yourself. And my parents know I'm like that. That's why they don't even try with me. But I'm grateful that I can be somebody in my community, that encourages people to push past those limitations.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, you can do what you believe you can do. And
Right.
sometimes it's a matter of these people just, or, our community seeing somebody do it. And then they believe that.
There's now a point of reference that you can say, see, and you make the case, you help make the case for them. Was this just a general, was there a defining moment when you said, bam, this is it? This is how it's going to be. Any like an incident or so, or did it just creep up on you?
Yeah, so I feel like the answer to that question is both. Like there was a defining moment, but it also crept up on me. I feel like you have to pay attention to the patterns in your life and what seems to find you when you feel very lost. And music seems to just always be there when I don't know what's going on. It's just always there. So I feel like I can't even run from it anymore. That was the creeping up part. But the defining moment for me was back in 2020 during the pandemic,
Okay.
which I'm sure, a lot of people had defining moments during that time. But that silence and that stillness where you have to really sit with yourself and sit with how you feel with your place in the world. And if you feel, like you're being intentional with what you're doing, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely had to face that. And I realized, okay, sometimes people are choosing to do things and it's not working out. Like music wants me to choose it. That's just the truth. Art wants me to choose it. So that was the defining moment for me. And since then, it's like my life has done a complete 180. It's like you talk about the youth and how sometimes people are lost and have depression and all these other ailments and stuff. And it really kind of just comes down to whether or not you're creating your life and the moments that are happening and trying to find joy and not just allowing things to happen to you.
Right, because they will happen. Then it's how you're going to deal with them, what you're going to make out of them. And once your perspective and your mindset are a certain way, that's kind of like the lens you use to view everything that comes your way. I told you you had like the Mbamba. Oh, you're far wiser than your years. Okay, now let's talk about because something people fear with these kinds of careers, with any career, but especially with the kind that you have who are artsy and into music, you fear that the inspiration will dry out. Okay, I am there, I teach. Look, the syllabus is there, I teach it. I can wake up in the morning, it's there written down for me what I'm supposed to be teaching, and I go and I go for it. Does that cross your mind like, hey, how am I going to continue being what do they call it again? Something block? I forget the actual name.
Oh, the
Right?
creative block.
The creative block, this writer's block, creator's block kind of a thing. Everybody would go through that, but how do you are you scared of it? Does it even cross your mind? Because you look like you have enough to go for 3 lifetimes.
Well, I'll be honest, sometimes the creative block does come up,
Uh-huh.
but recently I've been trying not to identify it as creative block and just to
Uh-huh.
see it as a time to slow down and maybe just engage in other things. Because that's life, that's the flow of life. Like you can't do every single thing you want to do all the time.
Correct.
And, sometimes I feel like, especially artists, can get very obsessed and hyper fixated on what they're doing. So, even though I want to create, I'm very grateful to have other mediums to create. I've noticed that when I have a block in one area, that's usually because I'm being called to be creative in some other area. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised at how quickly you're creative in that other area again once you start.
Springs up. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So now we'll be talking art, talking music. So, can we be a little bit more specific? What exactly have you done, uh, either with the artsy side or the actual music side? Give us a little bit about an insight, a peep into what your career has been like so far.
Yes, so I'm a painter and I record music. I record it by myself here in my home studio. I have music out on all streaming platforms. Right now, I'm kind of in transition because I'm releasing music as Posse the Superhero.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, my plan is to create in as many mediums as possible. I have interest in fashion as well. I have interest in acting. I have interest in dancing. Like, I just want to use all the mediums I can to encourage people to create and chase joy in life. Like, that's really why we're here. So, that's what
Right.
I use my art for, and that's really what my music is talking about as well.
Have you ever thought, just listening to you, have you ever thought of maybe opening an academy? Because when you say about inspiring people and everything, and I'm going, that is a lot. That maybe if you had an academy kind of a thing, then there'd be the dance section of it, there'd be the painting section of it, there'd be the recording, like vocal side of it. I'm just put, but it just struck me as you're talking about all of these things. You are them, but about giving it out to somebody else, you can switch from that from one role to another. But it might be that inspiration. Give it some thought. You never know.
Yes, that's
Uh-huh.
a wonderful idea. That's a wonderful idea. Well, I'll add one more thing.
Uh-huh.
So right now I'm going back to school to be a mental health counselor. So that's another really big passion of mine. So I just hope to use all of these things to just encourage people to have a good time here on this earth.
I'm a good time in the right sense. I'm
Yeah.
a high school teacher, so I'm listening to that. That is sounding so wholesome to me. And I'm saying, I hope down the road that materializes somehow, even if you not open the academy yourself, that you'll be somebody who would work in one. Our youth need it. I
Yes.
tell you, we're standing at my door there screaming, get out of that bathroom, get out of that bathroom. They're in there vaping. You see, some are struggling with depression, some are struggling with all kinds of things. And I am pretty sure that if they had avenues where they can, you see, you are accumulating all of the things that I know from experience kids need in this one person. Because they're talking about the artsy part that is the solution to all of these things that they're going through, and then the mental health thing, which again, in our community, like because you come from that kind of community, sometimes we don't recognize. You're
Yes.
supposed to just keep going, going, going. And the kids come there and you're like, get up, do the work, and you don't know what's going on in their head, which is even preventing them from doing anything you're talking about. Trust me, with all that they're going through, whatever thing you're trying to teach them, math, science, whatever it is, it's not even, they
Yeah.
have bigger things happening to them than that. So you're going back to school for it. Good for you. So how do you plan on managing the school part and still doing? You still have your studio there. How do you plan on balancing them?
God.
That's the only person who would. That's the only
A
person,
lot.
the only being that can make that happen.
Yes, a lot of prayer. Honestly, I feel very grateful. I have a lot of support. I have a lot of
Hmm.
people saying they believe in me. So I know that that along with, support from God will just carry me through. I will say it does feel like a lot, but I know that the the end goal is even greater than what I could imagine or any type of stress I'm feeling right now. So I just try to keep that in mind. And you're speaking about the children and everything. I feel like all of these things that I'm doing, if I can encourage people to continue to be creative,
Hmm.
then I don't mind doing the work. I'll just have to do that.
You are the person that has been. We are all put here for with a purpose. If that's what your calling is, even if it's tough, even if it's hard, that's your purpose. First
Yeah.
of all, God will equip you to do it because they say who He calls, He equips. And sometimes you can do something else. Not that's not what He put you here for, and you're not doing that much, but you're tired, and it's just tough because that's not you. That
Yes.
is like trying to get I don't know what a lawnmower to freeze stuff. It doesn't freeze stuff. It mows lawns. It's the
Yes.
fridge's job to freeze things. So you could be there putting in all this energy, putting in all this power. You are just not the right fit for the thing that you're doing. Sometimes it's a very different thing. You're going to work hard, but you will see where you're going. You will feel it inside of you that I'm tired, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as opposed to coasting through, cruising through some other thing, and there is no fulfillment inside of you there. Because I'm
Yeah.
looking at you speak, you're smiling, there's the joy there, I can see it. It's what you're born to do, so you don't have a choice, just go for it. Go for it. And add me to that list of people who are going to be pushing and supporting you from
Thank
from
you.
behind. Are you going to sing for us at all?
Yes, yes. I would love to sing for you guys.
Uh-huh.
I'll sing my song Trying. I released this
Okay.
song back in 2022 and I'll sing that a cappella. I just want to talk about the song a little bit because it really
Please
just
do.
encompasses everything that we're talking about today. I wrote that
Mhm.
song before I even knew what I was really doing, had my place in my music, knew that I wanted to go back to school, any of this stuff. But I just knew that I needed to keep going and I needed to have hope and try to find joy when there was joy and be optimistic, and I would find my place. And this
Mhm.
song is just to encourage people to keep going because God is seeing you, people are seeing you.
Uh-huh. Go
Okay.
right ahead.
I have found comfort in my shoes. I believe I have paid my dues. Life can be hard, I must confess. Sometimes I mind the loneliness. Where do you go to relieve stress? Where do you go to relieve stress? Life can be hard, I must confess. Sometimes I mind the loneliness. Where do you go to relieve stress? Where do you go to relieve stress? I'm trying, ooh. Trying, ooh. Space in this life, there's more to know. Don't have to cap, I'm here to show everything that I'm made of. Don't have to push, I've come to show. If I am broke, I still have love. If I am broke, I still have love. How do you feel when you're asleep? Can you say you are chasing dreams? I do believe that life is sweet. I deserve things that are for me. I deserve things that are for me. I deserve to be living free. Even when evil comes to me, I deserve to be living free.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm tearing up just listening to you. And then the face of the person, I'm smiling over here like grinning like a Cheshire cat, watching you bobbing away and dancing away to the thing. But that really is something. You do have a gift.
Thank
And
you.
I'm glad you're using it, you're putting it to good use. You see, you said you this is out already. This song that you just sang is out already. Okay, I had saved a thing here. Let me see if I can pull it up and we can share that screen. I think I found it right here. Let me hit that share button. Do you see it? Am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, well, for those who are listening on the radio, they can't see this. So we're going to go ahead and just try to speak it. But for those on YouTube, they can see it right there. It will be showing. So I see that you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, you're on SoundCloud, and then I'm not
Yep.
sure what this is. This the Spotify
Yes.
symbol right here? You see this Bamba? I know a few things right there. Oh, that is awesome. So I'm just going to try to say it out loud for those on the radio, for the benefit of those on the radio. It's Posse the superhero. Oh, there you are, zooming up there in the air. There's the superhero right there. And then so on Instagram, is at Posse the Superhero, all one word, at Art by Posse, all one word too. And then on YouTube is at Posse the Superhero. Simply that, just type that in and your videos will come up, I guess. And then on SoundCloud, it's at Posse the Superhero. Pretty much just remember, let that stick in your head. Those of you listening, those of you watching, Posse the Superhero, you these days, any search engine does it for you. You just go enter Posse the Superhero, everything will come right out. Everything will come right out. This is amazing. I am blown away by what I just heard. So let me stop the share for a second and come back to us. So what is it we can do to help? Because I know that what generally you go liking, sharing, commenting, all of that stuff to get to put you out there. Anything else we can do to help? Are you raising funds to help with the programs? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you have art exhibits we should go tickets to buy and everything? And just tell us a little bit about how the person listening can help.
Yes, thank you for asking that question because we as artists need all the support we can get. As long as well as liking, sharing everything, that really, really helps. I actually
Mhm.
have a Cash App that I can
Okay.
link, and that goes towards shows, that goes towards music supplies. I record at home, so everything I invest in myself. As far as exhibitions, I paint and I do plan to have exhibitions in the future. All of that
Mhm.
will be on the Art by Posse Instagram. So if you're interested in my paintings, my art, you can look to there for information on that.
It's beautiful. I did go to the Instagram page and look at the thing. Wow. I'd encourage everybody who's listening, who's watching, just go to Instagram. If you're on Instagram, or you're not on Instagram, get one of your kids to just get on Instagram and go check out this Posse the Hero. Those paintings are amazing. They really are. And then the music, you've heard it for yourself. But can you please tell us what the Cash App handle is? So if somebody is listening and wants to go ahead and do it, they can.
Yes, so the Cash App is at the Superhero Guide. I can put that in the chat.
All right. Yes.
Yes, the Superhero Guide.
Uh-huh. Let me
Yes.
go ahead and put it up from there and see that I didn't see that yet. Did you hit the send thing already? Because I'm trying to pull it up at the corner here and okay, now I see it. And I hope
Okay.
everybody sees it right there. I pulled it right there at the at sign, of course, the superhero guide, all one word.
Yes.
All one word, at the superhero guide on Cash App. You find it and do your own little bit to when she's rich and famous tomorrow, you can be able to say, I was at the beginning there, kind of helped to get that going. So yeah, I'll be going to drop my own little dime in there. Yes,
I
I
miss
see it right there.
There's
At
a
Posse the
correction.
Okay, at Posse the superhero. Okay, made the correction there. The at sign, Posse. Does it matter if it's an uppercase P or not? It
I
probably
don't think
does.
so.
I doubt that it does on Cash App. And then you'd see it will pop up after you get the whole thing. You see it and you can tell. Does it have your face on it? Do you know?
Yes,
Because I suppose
you'll
Cash App.
see my face.
There you go. So you see the person's, you see her face right there. You know you're not. It's going to the right person. So at Posse the superhero, at on the Cash App thing and donate.
Thank
I've
you.
had a wonderful time talking with you. I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to add to this that we haven't covered. Let me know what is it that you'd like to say. If not, then we'd like to hear what your final word is.
Yeah, so I guess my final thoughts, really my message that I'm trying to push, be creative, use your imagination. Those are really the keys to life. Validate your emotions, feel like there's value in how you feel. How you feel is an indication of whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, pay attention, know that if you desire something, you can achieve it. If you desire something, you can achieve it. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't, and you will do it. That's all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. About people's imagination, I guess the teacher side of me says to add, make sure that you get surround yourself with the kinds of things that are going to help feed that imagination. Because if not, some things can cloud your imagination. And then you go imagining how to rob a bank is not what we're talking about.
Yes.
We're talking about this kind of imagination that's just talking about wholesome, healthy, what should be there that would inspire, that would make your, like for you, your parents proud, that will benefit the rest of us, that will actually be something that we look at and can benefit from, and something that will last,
Yes.
that will even outlive you. Because that music you just sang there, it's going to say, after you're gone in a million years, because you still have a million years left to live, that art is going to remain there years and years, for years and years to come. So if you don't have anything else to add, I would say was wonderful talking to you, speaking with you. You have put a smile on my face for the rest of the day, for the rest of the weekend, the rest of the week, the rest of the month. Actually, this is March 1st. So thank you so much for taking some time to come sit here and just talk to us and inspire people. Trust me, whoever listens to this or watches this will be inspired.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I feel so grateful to be able to share my message on your platform. Just thank you so much.
It is a pleasure. Thank you and all the best. Godspeed with the rest of your career for school, for art, for music. You're good to go.
Thank you so much. Goodbye,
All right.
everybody. Have a wonderful
Bye.
day.